All right, welcome back. So today we're looking at a mod, the DiRCI, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. But it's a really interesting mod that allows you to create a cargo system to transport items around. I'll have a link below to the Steam Workshop page for the mod, but it's very interesting. So let's take a look at it. So the first one here, this blue one, so is the first time I was using this mod. Here's the code for it, but it pretty much just goes to point A, point B, point C, very simply. So the way the mod works, let's pause the game here so we can take a look. So you have 8 different modes here. So you have idle, move to target, load cargo, unload cargo, cargo full, cargo empty, which you don't really use 4, 5, and 7. So the main ones 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. So the way this one is working, I believe, is so I'm using mode 6, as you can see here. And mode 6 is path from stack. And the way the stack works is you have these put commands here that load onto the stack, your path ID, your X coordinate, your Y coordinate, and your Z, and then path ID. And depending on if your setting is positive or negative, it will look up or down through the stack, depending on where you tell it to be. So in this case, it takes the absolute value of setting minus 1 is the stack position. So the absolute value of 1 is 1, and then you minus 1, so it's 0. So it gives you this 0 index, and that's the start of the path ID. And then from there, it will go up for this one. That same ID is present, so path ID, so that matches. So it will go to this coordinate, then this coordinate, and then this coordinate. And that's what this is doing down here. And then I wait a second, or a tick, and then I jump back to my loop, and then loop through it all again, and then it goes back. So the way that will work or look is it goes to point 1, point 2, turns, comes to point 3, and then it kind of pauses for a tick, and then goes to the next location. So working with that and understanding how the setting is used to communicate with the robot to get to move. Play around with this for a little bit, got that working, and then I moved on to loading and unloading, and that's what this green one is doing here. So you load from a vending machine. We can see that in the mod description. So vending machine, small or refrigerated vending machine, and it has to be facing it, which we'll talk about that later in more detail. So this one comes up, rams its face right into it, opens, loads. It can store 10 items internally, and then it'll transport those 10 items. So let's look at the code for this one. Turn my HUD back on. Okay. So same thing, we're doing alias robot, reading from the housing because the IC10 chip goes onto the robot. So we're setting our start conditions here. This is where I load in our pathing. So I set the robot to 0. I clear the robot stack. This just helps with if there's anything inside the robot stack that could make it behave weirdly, like any unintentional bugs, or if you go through the stack and go to like a position you're not supposed to, you can cause bugs where it just does weird behavior. So clear the stack, set the setting to 1. I don't think I need to do this in here. I can't remember if I need to or not. But basically, I load the path. These are the X, Y, Z coordinates, the path ID, and then... Oh, my mistake. I think this is wrong one. Pop that out, import. Okay, green. There we go. Green, import. There we go. Okay. So looking at this one, I did it the other method where you use move to target and you hard code to position in for your points. So this is another way of doing it. So same thing, robot on DB, robot mode. I'm using this to just track which mode the robot is in. So I set my for my first upload pickup location. So this is the XYZ coordinates for that, and then the drop off location, the XYZ coordinates for that. And then I set my robot setting to 1. I'm using the setting in this code to keep track of the state the robot is in for troubleshooting. So you can get rid of all these settings and it will work. But you're basically setting the target X position on the robot. So it'll be down here. You can write to the target X, Y, Z coordinate, and that tells the robot where to go. And then you set it to mode 1, tells it to move to point or move to, is it phrased? Move to target. So it moves to those target points. And then I yield for a tick, and then I load the robot mode. And then if it is 0, which means that it arrived at its location and it's idle, I will jump to load. If it's not 0, which means we're still in transit, I just jump back to pickup, or make sure everything goes through. And then once we do hit an idle mode, then we jump down to load. On the load, we're just changing the mode to 2, so you're loading cargo. So set the mode to 2 here, yield a tick, load the robot mode from here. And then if the robot mode is 4, which means cargo is full, so it will show that the chip can see that. So once it hits mode 4, then we jump to drop off, which just sets the setting to 3 for my troubleshooting. Not worried about that. And then set the new XYZ coordinates for the drop off XYZ. Set the mode to 1, which is just move to target. Then you yield, and then load the robot mode. Same thing again. Check, see if it's idle. If it's idle, then we jump to unload. Unload is you set the mode to 3 now. 3 unloads the cargo. And that can unload into chute input or chute bin within 2 meters. So we do that, and then once the mode is 5, which means cargo empty, we jump back to pickup, and then that starts the loop again. So those are the 2 basic codes I came up with for these basic robots just running back and forth. Now let's go take a look out here. So this is creative mode. I just built a little base. I got some storage bins set up. We'll look at this one first. This is my orange DiRCI. It is going up to this outpost out there, and then bringing it the items to here, and then dumping the items here, which I'm just storing here in this vending machine. Or look, I also have a chute system that's hooked up to the sorters as well. So with that, now this code is a little bit different. Let's load. We'll pause the game. The same thing, alias the robot to be. Then I am using a hard-coded X and hard-coded position. And then I am starting the robot mode, clear the stack, I am then, oh, so this is the time I did a combination. So I hard coded the addresses in here to make it a little easier for changing it if I needed to. And then I put it onto the stack on the robot. And then, yeah, path ID, so drop spot, pickup spot, load all those in just like we did with that first code on the blue robot. So we set the robot setting to 1. So it takes the absolute value of 1, subtracts 1 from it, which is 0. 0 is this location here. And then it, because the setting is 1, a positive 1, it converses the stack, so it will increase in index numbers. So read 0 first, then 4, and so on until it gets to the end. So set robot setting 1, set the robot target X, Y, Z, down X, down Y, down Z. Oh man, I am doing this backward. I do not even need all this. So this code is messy on this one. So this is my first time working with it out here, trying to get it to work. So forget what I just said about the stack. We're actually not using the stack at all. But anyway, so we're doing this right here, yielding. So same thing that we did with the second robot, the green one. So all the same stuff. We're branching if we are full or empty. If we're empty, we jump to the pickup point. If we are idle, we jump to pickup point. That's code's messy on this one. It's all cleaned up in the last one I'll show you. So here we go, pickup point, drop off point, get that code. And then I created this script or this code running on this computer here, just so we could see an output. So I can see the X, Y, Z, should be Z. Coordinates of the robot. So it's currently at 130, 160, negative 220, which means it's sitting up there. And it's sitting up there because the cargo is currently at 1. So I can see it's in mode 2, which again is our load. So it's waiting for enough cargo to fill itself up to 10, and then we'll come back down and set in. Just using that again as just a reference in the code to see where it's at. So I know it's at pickup. And then the angle is the orientation of the vehicle. So let's go up to our outpost up here. It's pretty far away. Dope. Bump my head on that. So as you can see, it's sitting here waiting. And this is 4 miners, and it cannot, the miners cannot keep up with it. So we're sitting at 37 out of 50 ore in there. It just goes right into a silo and then into a vending machine. Yeah, sitting here, just waiting. So it can easily handle 4. I think it's probably about 6 is what it can handle on throughput, depending on your distance from your base. This one can easily handle 4 with this distance, and that's, we're a good distance away. But let's look at my second iteration of this code. This one should be a lot better, a lot more cleaned up. So this is our purple one here. This one is picking up from here. This has 1, 2, 3, 6 miners on it, and it is still waiting on items to come through. That one, yeah, it's at 6 now. 8. I got tired of waiting, so I set up another one here to deliver stuff back from our silo. So yeah, there's that. It's going. You'll notice it runs to this point here and spins, and then comes over here and then dropped off. And there's that. And the red one is our last one we'll look at, but same thing here. Let's look at the code. So this one is properly using the stack. So same thing, we got our robot. Then I'm using register R0 as the current mode of the system just for the LCD display so I can track it. I think, yeah, I'm also using it later on in the code. So this one, we are doing our paths. So I got path ID, start B, start A. A is where I finish, B is the starting point of that path, or B is the starting point of that path. So you can see here that this is path ID 1, 1, and then this is 2, 2. This comes in later in the code. So moving to start, which will be this path here, I'm setting the setting to 1. Absolute value of 1 minus 1 is 0, so it jumps to index 0. From 0, it will take in the x, y, z, read those coordinates, set that as the target position to move to, and then from there it will read up 4 positions from 0, so that gets it to index 4 here. This ID matches that ID, the previous one. This is a valid next path node. So it will take in this X, Y, Z coordinates and then path to that location. And then when it is reaches there, it will check again. So it will jump up to 8. This path ID is different. So it ends the path. And then it goes into its, I think this is load, right? Yeah, so loading. So set the robot mode, set the setting, yield, load the current mode, and then branch if we're 0 on the current mode, which is idle. If we're idle, we'll jump to load. If we're not idle, we'll jump back to move start. So it just makes a little loop. And then on load, we set the robot mode to 2 again. That loads the robot. And then I load slot R15, which that's a register I'm using, but I'm loading the slot index 11, I believe. That's like, yeah, so slot index 11. I'm checking to see if this final storage slot is full. So it's occupied, and if I branch if it's equal, so if this register that's holding this value, if that is equal to 0, I jump back to load. If it's not equal to 0, then we, which means there's something in that storage slot, then we'll jump to end, move, and so from there, we set the setting to 9, which we take the absolute value of 9, subtract 1, that's 8. That gives us 8 right there. And it's a positive 8, so it's going to jump up 4 to 12. So from there, it will load these path coordinates, path to that location, then path to the next location after that. Once it gets there and it's idle, then we go to unload. So we set the mode to 3. And again, we load into that R15 register if slot 11 is occupied or not. If it is occupied still, then we stay at unload. Otherwise, we just jump to move start. And then I have a jump to start here in case for whatever reason or some type of bug, anything happens, it will just jump back to the start and go through this whole process again. So that was the second iteration of that, and it works pretty well. Haven't had too many issues. We will talk about, so on here, I had to use the cladding to make ramps. Otherwise, the robot had issues getting to it. And as you can see from the robot right here, it came from over there to right here, directly in front, and then passed straight in. I'm doing that to ensure that it's facing the vending machine when it gets here. If you don't do that, if you come in from the side, if it's not facing the vending machine, you'd have to move your vending machine over to like this side instead. So that can be an issue when you're trying to build one of these systems yourself. So we'll look. So it jumps down, comes down. And these guys are pretty fast. They move at a good speed. So it jumps up, hits this corner. I think I set my GPS location to here, and it passes over to here, and then it unloads and goes from there. But this is the final iteration that I got working, and this is our red DiRCI. So it comes over here. It will hit this corner right here, this side of the foundation, and then pass straight in like it did. I think it does it right about here. So it passes right in and then picks up from this vending machine. Then we'll transport these items to this orange foundation is a marker. It passes in a straight line. So if I did not have that waypoint there, it would come straight this way and then fall down into my hopper or get stuck under the base. That happened before. So I added that in there. So now it comes over here, unloads. We can see all of that unloading. It's a pretty quick process. It unloads, comes back, and then it aims again for, I think this point is a little bit different. It's a little bit more out here to, yeah, right here. And then it goes this way. You'll see it hits this point and then turns. And that's to ensure that it's facing the vending machine. So let's look at the code on this guy. We look. So this one's a little bit longer because we have multiple paths. So same thing, loading the robot, getting the current mode, setting the mode to 0 just so it's idle on startup. Clear the stack again. And then our path ID 1, so we have 3 points on it. And then path ID 2, 3 points as well. We're up to 23 now for our index. And then it sets the robot setting to 13. So 13, absolute value of that is 13 still. Subtract 1, that's 12. So it starts here. Path ID starts C. This is path ID 2. So then it goes down the stack here to those positions. Set the robot to move to called is path from stack. Yep. So yield, load the current mode. Current mode is 0. We jump down to load. Set the robot mode to 2. Wait a second. Load the slot. So store in R15. That same slot if it's occupied or not. If it is not occupied, we stay at load. If it is occupied, then we move. Move to end. Set our setting to 1. Doing 1 because absolute value of 1 minus 1 is 0, so that gets us to this position. Our path ID is now 1. That goes through all the path IDs with 1. Once we get to the end of that, if we are idle, we jump to unload. Set our unload mode, so mode 3. We yield. Check to see if that slot is occupied. If it is occupied still, we stay at unload. Otherwise, we jump back to move start. So pretty self-explanatory. The main thing is just getting used to working with the stack and how to put the coordinates in, and just making sure you stay with like a consistent system. So like path ID 1 is increasing, so it's positive. So I do 0, then 4, then 8. I could start in reverse order, so I could change this one to C, B, A, if I flip-flop the XYZ coordinates on these, but I would start at setting 9. So 9, absolute value of 9 minus 1 is 8. And then I would set, it would be a -9. That way it transverses in reverse order when it's done. So once it reaches this path, it would look down for the 4 and then 0. So you can do that with positive and negative numbers on your settings. But yeah, that's pretty much the code there. And some key considerations to think about when implementing like the robot for your system. I think doing probably 2 foundations just to be safe for wide, distance wide. So what you could do, I don't have my other laptop. So what you could do, so if you're trying to put in your coordinates, the easiest way I found to do it is, so use your tracker, your deep miner, and you can just toss that on the ground, put it down like that. And then if you edit your code and then move your screen, then you can see your coordinates here. It makes it a lot easier to enter your coordinates. So you can do that. And I would say two foundations, because you can set this here in the middle, like that. And that gives you the whole foundation. So I would do like foundation here for the like input, and then straight shot over to like this foundation for the output for the vending machine. And then you would move that vending machine up to the corner here. And if you need to, I think I needed to on this one once I got it going. But you can do decimal places as well. So you could do like half, quarter, stuff like that to get the robot a little bit closer. As you can see on here, on the distance, I think this one should be the X coordinate we're watching. So yeah, 304.3 is where it's currently at. I think 304, yeah, so it's like right here on the edge here is where I have it set. So that works for that. The other thing is, yeah, the ramps, just building ramps up to your location is very helpful for the robot. Otherwise, it will get stuck on like any lips like this. It won't go over it by itself, so you'll have to build a ramp. And it's pretty fun watching them jump like that. But pretty much everything we have going over this mod. Hopefully this is a good little introduction to the mod, and you can go out and start playing with it. I know one thing I'll be incorporating when I use this mod is tracking. So one thing I'll be doing when I working with this mod, I believe, is using mode to track and looking for if it's 0 and setting that up to be on like a LED light or something, and that flashes red, so I can see if it gets stuck. And if it gets stuck, then I'll see where it is and then go and unstuck it. Most of the time that happens when it's grab this guy real quick before he runs away. We can just put him right there. So you can see he's trying to path to his next target, but he's stuck now. He's still going. So you can keep an eye out for stuff like that. You can look and see, okay, it's in mode 6 and XYZ, nothing is moving, so the robot's not moving. So you could do something like that to see if there's an issue. But all you have to do is just go like that, unstick them, and then he'll continue on his way and just run back and forth. Last thing to consider is that these do get damaged by storms. I'm not sure if that's intentional or not, but at least here on Mars, in this creative world, if a storm comes through, these will get damaged. So one thing you could probably, not sure exactly how you do it, but you could wire it up in such a way that maybe from your weather station, you can have a message that will send, that these can maybe, I'm not sure exactly how you do it, but you could set like a home base where they can come inside your base or something like that, or somewhere enclosed to stay safe from storms. Or if you notice a storm is coming, to just run out and grab your robot real quick and bring them inside. You wouldn't really need to do anything. You could just, kidnap them. This one will probably get messed up a little bit because he was in the middle of unloading, so he'll probably get mad, but I disabled that. But yeah, you can bring them inside and then just set your chip again, back off, and it will path out. And even if it has cargo in there, the way that I wrote the code, it will still fill its cargo all the way up. Actually, I'm not sure. Let's watch this one. The way that I set it up, because it's only reading that last index, that last slot, it may think that it is... And he's stuck. Okay. I'm here. There we go. It may think that it's full when it's not. That'd be interesting to see. But there's all sorts of things you can do with these. Hopefully this is just a nice little, just like I thought. That last lot is full, so it's going to unload. But hopefully this helps you get an understanding of how to use the system, how to work with it, how to use that setting, and how to path. And then using the tablet with the tracker and just using that to read your XY coordinate, dropping it on the ground. There we go. Knocking it over. And then being able to read that with your laptop on the screen. Makes it a little easier for putting in those coordinates. So hopefully that helps. But thank you so much for sticking around and watching. Leave a like, comment what you think I could do better on these videos, and what you'd like to see. I'm going to take a copy of this world save and upload it to the Steam Workshop, as well as having a copy of this final code with the sick paths on it uploaded as well to the workshop, just so you can see. But thank you so much, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.